Welcome back to the Aftermatch with Kirst, Beav, and a very special guest today. Liam Messam joins us because we didn't want anything to stop you from listening to or watching this great podcast after that All Blacks performance. So we're coming live from the Cordoba Airport with these two. I'm surprised their shoulders can fit in frame, but how are you two going?
Well, I'm surprised we're still together. It's been a long 4 days with each other, I tell you that.
This has really tested our friendship this trip. Stephen has under-delivered big time.
What have you learnt about each other that you didn't already know?
People won't even pay for roaming, which is $9 a day, so this might cut out people. It might be a bit glitchy because of the free Wi-Fi from the airport's pretty crappy.
Okay.
Kirst, can we just go do it ourselves? Can we kick him out?
Before we get into the intricacies of your relationship and the All Blacks performance, I noted that you two thought you'd wind back the clock and do a wee All Blacks training session. Day of the game, was it?
Look, we'd eaten about 10 kilo of barbecue the night before and maybe a couple of Malbecs, which is, of course, a red wine, Kirst, if you're not as cultured as us. We felt we needed to sweat something out. So we took a bit of time out of our coaching clinic and, did a bit of MAS running, which for people at home is high speed. Well, it's supposed to be high speed running.
It's very humbling. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, tell us, you're in Cordoba in Argentina, a fair way away from Buenos Aires. First time for both of you. What was it like there?
I quite enjoyed it here. It's very slow-paced. It's a bit of a, what would you call it, Beav? Like a...
Well, it got referenced to be the Hamilton of Argentina.
Yeah, it did, actually. Maybe that's why we liked it.
We loved it.
Felt like home.
But the locals call it a small city, Kirst, and they say, yeah, it's about the size of Auckland. But I guess the great thing about Cordoba, compared to, say, Buenos Aires, is it's not a rat race. It's very clean. It's very safe. The big thing that struck us yesterday, and it's, I guess, everywhere, I don't want to say everywhere outside of New Zealand. I don't want to kick our own country, but that the way they do match day, we got there 2.5 hours before kickoff. It reminded you of being in South Africa. People were in their cars and on the sides of the road with their own barbecues, with their own setups. And then we were lucky enough to be a part of both the public and a ticketed event for just outside the ground. And honestly, Kirst, for 3 hours, 4 hours beforehand, there was bands, there was food trucks, there was just all this, just very much in a paddock or two just outside the stadium. It
was awesome. Few ice creams, I must say. The ice creams are pretty good here. But it's a hell of an experience. Something would be awesome if we had that in New Zealand. It just took me back to the time I was playing in France. So,
would it work in New Zealand? Like, do you think Kiwis would turn up to experience what you guys just experienced?
I think we would. I mean, it's easy to say, we're not doing enough as a game for the match day experience. But obviously, over here in South Africa and even Australia, I think the governments and that are attached, you you can't get things across the line if you can't have drinking or licenses, down the road or things like that, which they have literally street parties as you're going into this stadium yesterday. And you see it in South Africa all the time. And, England, Twickenham, out the back of Twickenham, just a big party beforehand. So it's just, it's not just the rugby union you'd have to get on board. It's local government council and all the rest of it. But I think Kiwis would get into it. I mean, yes, apart from being very cold by the time kickoff came, it was a beautiful day, so that helps as far as the festivities. But I'm sure not many Kiwis wouldn't have enjoyed yesterday as far as.
I think they loved it. There was a few 50 odd Kiwis on a travel deal there, and they were absolutely loving it. Maybe in New Zealand we could do, instead of barbecues, we could do hangies. Steamed hangies along the road.
Yeah, and if there was any barbecues, I don't think that would be quite the.
We'll get some Webbers.
Yeah, and just have a whole lot of pre-cooked sausages, Kirst, and just run sausage sizzles everywhere. But I think Kiwis would certainly enjoy the aspect of, there was live music, there was obviously drinking and celebrating before the kickoff. It's such an atmosphere.
There was also other rugby sort of activation games for kids.
For kids, yep.
So it was that was a hell of an experience.
Nice. Okay, well, if we talk about the game then, dominant performance in the end from the All Blacks, if you look at the scoreline, and they dominated pretty early on. We do Beav's notes from the game, but Mess, what did you see?
Apart from almost getting into a fight with the local canteen guy because he was disrespecting our anthem, the atmosphere, but what I saw from the boys was a very physical, big Argentinian team. And what I loved about our boys is that they just bit down on the mouth guard and just got stuck into them and took away the heart of the Pumas, which is obviously their set piece, like our scrum dominated. I thought we dominated in the collision, the breakdown. Like Artie was a beast for us, and he's such a motivational player for the boys and inspiration. So they just got a roll on that with that. And to be fair, the RG's done really well to come back in that second half. The crowd finally woke up and got in behind them. And we thought it was going to be a bit closer at the end, but RG rolled the dice about competing in the line-out and got stung a couple of times for a quick couple of early tries for the Sibosoni. So, but I thought overall, physically, that's one thing I was really pleased about, the way the boys fronted physically.
So Kirst, obviously I was lucky enough to be next to his mind, which I guess as a player, I never really asked him for much advice on the field.
I told him what to do.
As far as tactically goes, but one thing that we talked about there, it getting close, and then the All Blacks kicking away, which last year, remember, they probably lost a couple of games where it got really close in that last 10 minutes when it got a bit of pressure, but we were able to kick away. And I'll get Mess to explain a little bit more, but there's a couple of times where probably old school people like myself, probably people in front who are on the TV going, why are we not taking points here? Why are we not taking points here? When the margin was only 7. But, Mess, do you want to go into a bit of detail about...
What Argentina were doing, which is fair play to them, they were actually rolling the dice or having a gamble and competing 5 metres out, which is a very, very dangerous thing to do if you do not win the ball, because you've got a pot up in the air, and obviously the All Black boys are set with 8 willing to drive, so it's usually 8 versus 5 or 4. You do the math, Beav?
Yeah, I've got it. You carry on talking. I'll do the math.
So the RGs competed every time in the 22. So I'm not sure who calls the lineouts, but Scooter or whatnot. But they've done a fantastic job and really punishing the RGs for going up and rolling the dice, and that really sort of let us get away with the win at the end.
Comfortable one.
What about the first half, Beav? What did you see from the All Blacks in the first half? Because they went into halftime 21 points ahead.
Yeah, a couple of things for me, I guess, on both sides of the ball. Again, something we've seen all year but we've been excited about was they were trying to play with speed and tempo, which, Mess talked about the size of these guys. He mentioned as soon as they ran out at the kickoff saying just how big they physically looked, the Argentinians. And then we played at a tempo where as soon as we got them behind, we did a lot of damage down the edges. A lot of it I thought was down to the fact that Geordie Barrett was throwing these wonderful cutout balls to either Rico or Sevu, who were making big dents. And then when you get dents of that sort of magnitude, teams are going backwards to the next ruck. And when you're going backwards to the next ruck, we've talked about it before, you can't set your line. And we were able to get on the front foot with the momentum and the speed of ruck. So I thought that was really crucial, how they got started in that first half. And the other thing, which was really noticeable, and for someone who, like myself, it's more his domain, who takes very little notice defensively or at ruck time, I thought we competed really hard on the defensive rucks. And that sort of, I guess, had Argentina with nowhere to go. When you looked at Argentina's moments in the first half, the only good moments they had were just sheer brilliance out of nothing, from getting on the end of their own up and unders and stuff like that, Kirst. So they weren't able to construct anything because I thought, Mess, we did a great job on the defensive ruck competing.
Yeah, we did. And again, like I said, I was really, as a old player watching the physical battle, that's one thing that was really awesome to see live, just the boys getting stuck in and slowing down those RG's boys. And like you said, especially in the first half, it was just those little kicks or the kick together. They sort of created something and got in behind us. But other than that, I thought the boys really stood firm. And I think it goes down to their contact coach, who was Tamati Allen.
Yes.
Who wanted a shout out, wanted me to give him a shout out. He's currently...
See, a contact coach was... I thought he had some martial, but also martial art. Doesn't he teach some martial arts?
Yeah, that's definitely working.
Yeah, he's got it all.
He's got it all. Definitely, you can see it.
Old times.
It's coming through the boys' play, which is really pleasing to see. So he's a must keep in New Zealand.
What about the two minds that we've got on the aftermatch today? You two would make a great coaching duo. If you got through this trip in Argentina, surely you could take over a team.
It's always the trump card on the brooming lifts at the Chiefs. If you've got S.R. Donald, you're in for a good week.
And the worst thing is, obviously, he's still on New Zealand time, and I've been lucky enough to be away for a month, so I'm sort of acclimatised to this time. But the bro wakes up at 3 a.m. and just walks around like it's bloody lunchtime in New Zealand, opening, slamming doors, turning lights on, and I'm just like...
You'd think he'd know better. You'd think he'd know better after all those times on the road. Every week, we ask you for your Black Magic All Black of the week. We want you to send in your nominations again. Who was the player of the weekend for you wearing an All Blacks jersey? Comment away, and we've got an awesome Black Magic prize pack to give away, Beav. So, for each of you, who was your Black Magic All Black of the week?
Well, mine, I always struggled to nail it down to one, but I've gone with Sevu Reece. Honourable mentions to Will Jordan and Geordie Barrett for me. I noticed that on TV, you cannot sort of appreciate the pace of Will Jordan. When he went through and set up Cortez Ratama, me and him were obviously lucky enough to be there live. It literally looked like he got shot out of a gun. He just exploded. It looked like he was on another level compared to anyone else. So that was one of the moments of the game for me. But Sevu Reece was my Black Magic All Black of the weekend. He was busy. He was everywhere. He was sharp as always, as he is. When he played well, his feet, his busyness around the park, it was huge. In that first 20 minutes, where I think the All Blacks won the Test match, really, it was Sevu Reece who was a major player. For you, Miss?
For me, firstly, Black Magic. Do I get a wee little...
Yeah, well,
You've got to vote, and maybe you'll win a prize pack.
Put my entry in, please. For me, it was Artie, just the absolute physical beast out there with and without the ball.
What's his best position?
Just as long as it's not number 19 or 20, we're good. I played a lot of number 19 and 20 for the All Blacks, but as long as Artie is not number 19, 20, we're safe.
Okay, well, that is our Black Magic All Blacks of the week. Have your say in the comments. Tell us who stood out to you, and visit blackmagictackle.com for all your fishing needs, Beav.
absolutely. Hopefully, maybe didn't get a chance to use any gear in Cordoba, but going to be back in New Zealand soon. So hopefully get the Black Magic gear a bit wet.
Every week we give the All Blacks performance a rating. You go first, Beav. How did you rate this performance?
Well, did I get above 6.5 in the French series? Because
No, 6.5 was your max in the French.
yeah, so this is a 7 for me because it was in Cordoba here in Argentina. It was without a couple of real big important frontliners, and we all went there knowing that Argentina were a genuine chance. And the fact that we got into a wonderful position, then it got into a bit of a hang on. Once the yellow card hit, once all that momentum went with the penalties, it was a legitimate test that was all on with 15 to go, and then we kicked away again. So it's a 7 out of 10 for me, Kirst.
So they're on the improve. Every single test they've been on the improve for you. What about you, Mess? What do you rate them?
Ooh. Yeah, I'll give them a 7.5. I thought it was it wasn't perfect. Never is going to be, but it was a good, solid performance, I thought.
Kirst, while we're talking ratings, I reckon, and we love a big call here. It's absolute clickbait heaven. But I reckon, I know they've had some wonderful 10s in this country, Condaponi, Waimapeni and the likes, and they always talk about Porta historically as the greatest Argentinian 10. I reckon we might have seen a superstar for the first time yesterday in the La Puma number 10 jersey. He was mightily impressive.
Albinos, first test match against the All Blacks, first starting test match against the All Blacks. What did you see?
Oh, well, I mean, first of all, I think it was there for all to see, his kicking game. His kicking game was absolutely outstanding, both long, both to retrieve. And then also, as the game wore on, clearly his confidence started to really lift up. And we saw a bit of pace from him, didn't we?
He's very quick. I just liked his toughness. He was tough. Like, he was countering back and just running straight. Like, no footwork. Like, legit running straight into the boys. And I was just like, this kid's only what?
Oh, he'd be 5 foot nothing. He's not a big man.
Into him.
I mean, you've been saying Finn Russell's the best 10 on the planet. This could get there.
Yeah, I think we talked to, obviously we've been with Argentinian people the entire time. And, come that World Cup in 27, I think
He'll be the starter.
He'll be the starter, but he'll be someone that all of a sudden, as Argentina got the ability to go from, very competitive, always going to be there at the knockout stages, but possibly can't win the thing, to maybe having the ability now with someone like that, could they take the next step? Who knows?
Wow. Okay, we'll clip that one up, Beav. That'll be a ratings bonanza. Just like when you went through the 13 tests for the All Blacks this year and you banked 13 from 13 at the start of the season, you thought maybe they could slip up once, maybe. But really you thought they were going to go through the season unbeaten and climb up to number 1 in the world. They've done that, Beav. By Monday, they will be, or today, they are number 1 in the world. You called it.
Yeah, if only we could just stop the season now, and the Aftermatch credibility has gone through the roof after so many people were offended by the URC comments. But no, it's wonderful. It's 4 years, Kirst, since we've been number 1 in the world. Phenomenal.
On fantasy. Are you playing fantasy, Miss?
No, I don't have time for that. I have a real job.
He does have time.
So unfortunately, I don't have time to sit on my phone and scroll.
So,
Hold
sorry,
on, when you
sorry,
say real
Kirst.
job, do you mean
Sorry.
coaching?
Yes. Yeah. He still doesn't realise that working in rugby is not the real world. And secondly,
8 to 5,
secondly,
Monday to Friday.
Secondly, Kirsty mentioned that I'm waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning. He's been walking around telling people that if he doesn't get 9 hours sleep in a night, then he can't function. I think he could probably have 8.5 hours to allow himself some time to play fantasy, don't you?
I think 7 hours is the optimum, isn't it?
And he's a father too. How he gets 9 hours sleep a night, I have no idea.
How you only survive off 2 though, Beav, is remarkable. On fantasy, here's an update for all of you that are playing along with us on fantasy. Beav's got his own page. So, Beav, where are you sitting in the standings?
I'm 25th in
Out
the.
of
I've got about
Out of 300 odd.
Yeah, so I'm 25th on our one. I was pretty proud of some of my gambles.
Tell me, who are the gambles that paid off? Who got big numbers for you? Because on the Aftermatch, we had Harry Wilson, who got the most points of anyone.
I had Sevu Reece. I had Wright as my captain.
How many points did Wright get as captain?
Just under 200.
Holy moly.
I actually ran into Sevu outside of the stadium after the game and just said thank you for giving a bit of impetus to my fantasy side.
Can I ask how many points Anton Leonard-Brown got?
He would have got minus points for that. Minus 10, I think it is, when you get sent off. And he was only on the field for how long? A few minutes.
Well, Kirst, I was quite chipper about my fantasy team at half time because obviously Sevu had got a try. I think I had Cortez as well, and then I jumped on my team and I saw that because I guess I filled in some cheaper options and I had the Argentinian prop that got Simbin, didn't I? So he cost me a little bit.
He would have done. I had a look at who is top of our fantasy. Green Knights is the name. It was a big start for Green Knights. So he is the person to beat in the Aftermatch League. You can join us just by searching up Rugby Championship Fantasy. Not too late. Jump on, join the Aftermatches League, and make sure that you like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, on our Instagram, TikTok, everywhere you get your podcast from. We're going to drop a couple of different podcasts this week. We're going to get stuck into South Africa. Not right now, but we will do a South African podcast because just quickly, when you saw and heard that result, what was your instant reactions?
They've gone to Johannesburg and all week they've been getting told that no Aussie team's gone there for 60 years. They've been told for the last 5 years or 10 years that they're not a great Wallabies team. And then to get smacked between the face with 22 points in the first 20, you're starting to think, oh, well, you're gonna capitulate here. But somehow they found a way. And obviously Russ in the press conference said his own team capitulated.
That's a nice way of putting it. It was dog shit.
Dog shit is the word, yeah. That's what we need in press conferences. More references to dog shit.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. This is the Aftermatch with Kirst, Beav, and special guest Liam Messam, who's had to put up with Beav for the entire week, so he deserves a medal for that. Hopefully they make it to the gate on time.
Can I ask one question though? Who do I invoice?
Beaver.
He's a liability already, so it's coming straight to you, Kirst.
Thanks for joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe on all of our channels on the Aftermatch because more podcasts are coming out this week.